Okay.
Hey everybody, my name is D.Lisa West and I'm a dream doula.
I am Christina Spitzer. I'm a psychotherapist and relationship coach.
Today we're going to talk about clearing clutter with feng shui based on this book, Clear Your Clutter with Feng Shui, written by Karen Kingston in 1998. I've
Hmm.
read this book, I've used this book. It's so interesting to think about how the clutter in your environment might affect you.
Hmm.
For example, there's a bagua. This is the bagua map.
Mm.
And this shows you that there's 9 spaces inside of a perfect rectangle. So if you don't
Hmm.
live in a perfect rectangle, you can stretch it out, or maybe there's a corner missing and there's a way to fix it. But if you walk into your house, you look all the way to the far right corner. That's your love, marriage, and relationships corner. So if you would like to have a better love relationship or one that you don't even have yet, what's in that corner of your space? So you walk
Mm.
in, you look to the far right. Is there clutter there? What's there?
Mm.
It might be interesting to go through every room. So each room you walk in, you look to the far right. You can look in the kitchen, the bathroom, your bedroom, but mostly I think the bedroom and the main living area would be where that one corner would affect you the most.
Mm.
In my life up until now, I've collected clutter in all the corners of my house, but mostly in those far corners. You walk in, you're like,
Mm.
put some stuff there, put some stuff there. Why? Why do I put stuff there? It's very, very interesting to think about. Here's what she says about relationships, love, and marriage. A cluttered relationships area can cause difficulty in finding a love partner or problems in an existing relationship.
Mm.
What you get will not be what you want if there's clutter in this area. It's an interesting idea that there could
That.
just be clutter in one space of your home and it would be
Hmm.
affecting you. And I've pondered this for many years now. It's like, does the clutter come first or does the issue come first? And the clutter is
Mm.
just showing you what's happening.
Hmm.
Because I think if you're a feng shui practitioner and you go into someone's house with this in mind, you already know what is happening in their life without them telling you.
Mm.
Another thing that was told to me was if you want to have a love relationship and you don't, and that corner of your house, what's in it? Is there just one single picture of a lonely woman looking off in a distance? Is there just one sculpture? Are there pairs of things? Or is there a picture of people in love in that corner? You might think of what you would love and put something that images that in that corner of your space. If you would love more love, make it a loving corner. And now I'm thinking that in my dining room, that's the corner where we keep the printer. Underneath it is a bookshelf cluttered up with a bunch of papers. Uh-oh. I see something I can go clean out right now in my imagination.
Mm.
Now, in this space, I just put a gong there. So I have a gong in the corner. I think that's probably good. Although it's just one gong, it's pretty big.
Mm.
I can clear the energy there with sound.
Mm.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting. It's probably not part of your practice, but I would love to be a fly on the wall and have you ask all of your people that are working on relationships in your
I.
private practice, like what's in this corner of your
What is
house?
in the far right corner? Because I'm also thinking of the fact that, a lot of times do we block things for ourselves?
Oh
Like
yeah.
a lot of times when there is clutter, it's because we're holding on to things in the past or we're afraid of stuff. So what do you have in that far right corner?
Right.
Is Are you on some sort of unconscious level trying to, are you, as much as you say you want a healthy relationship, do you? And for those of you like, yes, I do want it. Okay, don't get defensive. I'm just saying, especially if you've been through pain or you've had bad experiences, you may want this on some level, but you may be afraid of it on another. So you might be in some way blocking yourself from having that because
Yes.
perhaps you're afraid of it.
I'm looking for the bed. There's a bedroom. Things that don't belong in bedrooms. Because get down to you want a relationship, you probably want to sleep in a bedroom with a partner, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
So Karen Kingston says this in this book. Is your bedroom a dumping ground for all the things that you got nowhere else to put?
Mm.
If so, you are treating yourself like a second-class citizen.
Oh.
It's not ideal to have computers, exercise bikes, broken down equipment, and other unseemly objects crowded into your sleeping area. And stale energy hangs around dirty clothes. So you should never
Mm.
keep a dirty clothes, a laundry basket in your bedroom. She suggests changing your sheets regularly. And then what's underneath your bed? She says, if you would like to have good sleep, resist the temptation to put things under your bed to store them. If
Mm.
you have to store things under your bed, it should be bed linens, towels, or clothing.
Mm-hmm.
When I read this the first time, I looked under my bed and I had boxes of old photographs
Mm-hmm.
and old love letters under my bed, and I was single. I was like, oh,
Interesting.
how fascinating. Maybe I should move those things. Um, so, isn't that an interesting concept that there's a relationship corner, and then, of course, what's under your bed
It's under your
and what's
bed.
in your bedroom space?
You think about the old idea how kids would be afraid of monsters under the bed and having
Yeah.
someone like chase the monster out so they can go to sleep. What's under there. So, and
Yeah,
again, I
what's
go
under the
back,
bed? Were
what's
you
under
afraid
the
of
bed?
monsters under the bed when you were a kid? I was for a minute.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to remember. It's funny. When I was little,
Hmm.
what was under my bed was my Barbie camper. So
So
maybe they were
something cool was under your bed.
right. So I had my Barbie camper under the bed with my dolls. So maybe, I thought maybe Barbie was protecting me from the monsters because I don't remember being afraid of monsters.
I remember a time in my life when I did think there were monsters under the bed,
Mhm.
but not really. And maybe an adult gave me the idea, like, do you have
Mm,
monsters? And like, where would you even get that idea?
I
But
know
I
because I
shared a
know
room
it's
with
like a
my sister, and we
yeah.
had these matching beds. And we would turn out the light and then run and leap into our bed so the monsters couldn't grab our legs on the way
Hmm.
up. I
Wow.
I forgot about that. Running and leaping.
Grabbing and leaping. I don't. That's the thing. I know that it's a common childhood thing, and the whole movie Monsters Inc. was the whole point of that, where the
Oh,
monsters were
right,
real monsters. So that was the whole point of it.
right.
But I don't remember of that. I mean, the dark kind of was to make me nervous, sort of thing. Sounds and light tricks of the light in the night. But I don't remember specifically under the bed. I don't think that was something specific for me. And
Mm.
it's funny because as a kid, like I said, I had my toys under there. But as an adult, I never actually liked to store anything under the bed as an adult.
Huh.
Hmm.
Yeah, at one time there were beds with drawers underneath them that were
Yeah.
fashionable.
Mm,
And
yes.
what did I put under those drawers? Clothing, probably.
Yeah.
Sweaters and
Right.
off-season clothing. And that, that's probably okay. If you have to store something under your bed, that would be
Mm-hmm.
okay. But yeah, the idea that your bedroom is your sacred space, you get
Mm-hmm.
deep sleep there or not, you
Mm-hmm.
have relationships in there or not. So
Mm-hmm.
keeping things clutter free,
Mm-hmm.
keeping the top of your dresser as free as possible. So just
Mm-hmm.
the idea in feng shui, I think, translate as wind and water.
Mm,
So it's like the flow of energy through your space should be
mm,
unimpeded.
mhm,
And you really can tell, like if you're the kind of person who burns incense or sage inside of a space to clear the
mhm,
energy, when you walk around a room, trying to get to all the wall space, you'll notice where your
Mhm.
clutter is because
Mm.
I'm like leaning over things to do the smoke. And it's like, oh, got
Mm.
to walk around that. You can't, like, ideally, you could walk around the room and kind of smoke all the edges of it, but not if there's stuff in the way.
Hmm.
By the way, listeners, I heard from an elder, Chumash native here in Southern California, that white sage is on the decline. In fact, it might be an endangered species soon. And the only place that white sage grows is in Southern California into Mexico, in the whole on
Hmm.
the whole planet. And poachers go out and pick it. They just rip the whole plant out by the roots.
Oh,
And Native Americans would have it growing in their neighborhood or in preserves next to them or in their gardens. And they would go and ask the plant first, is it okay if I take some of you? And they would
int-
selectively trim it and let the plant get older and older and older. And now they're going to the places where they used to get their sage and there's no plant there.
oh,
I know. I think there's a movie you can see on YouTube. I think it's called The Saging of America or The Saging of the World about
mm,
that phenomenon. But basically this elder said, don't buy it in a store. If you get sage, have it as a gift from a friend or grow it yourself.
mm.
She
Wow.
said the influencers in the world are ruining the sage population
Wow.
because it's now very popular to burn. I mean, everybody knows about burning sage to clearing energy, right?
So,
Everyone knows
but
it.
so they've taken something that was good and special, and now because of doing it too much, just like your things. It's not like
Yes,
having things is bad. It's when you take it to an extreme and you have too much stuff.
right. Yeah, having stuff, fine. Having too
Right,
much stuff, clutter.
right. Burning some sage, nice. Depleting the reservoirs of sage because now you're doing too much. So
Yeah.
it's the idea is, what are you creating in your life? Are you creating a space for love, marriage, or just companionship? Or are you creating a space that blocks that because too much is there in that space that there's not enough room for the other thing you want?
Yes. How do you make room for love?
Yes,
Gotta make room in your heart and make room in your home.
exactly.
Yeah.
I
Well,
I was trying to
I
think
know
of a
you have a
movie.
movie. I
I
know
was
you
trying
have
to
a
think of a
movie.
movie, and I don't know why this one was popping into my head. It was a movie with Diane Lane. I want to say it was called A Villa in Tuscany. I'm trying to remember the year it was released, and it was about a woman. It starts off, she's, unexpectedly her husband, okay, spoiler happens at the beginning. Unexpectedly her marriage and relationship breaks up, so she kind of goes through this, crisis thing, and she winds up going to Tuscany. And I'm trying to remember now the full plot. She kind of spontaneously buys this villa, and it needs all this repair because she's just, trying to just fix up her life. And she winds up creating this space. And, at first she's like, did I have everything I want? And then the person who she first talked to about what she wants in this villa, she was saying she wanted a space for family, for friends, for love, for all these wonderful things in her life that maybe she wasn't making the space for. And then you see this part of the movie, I'm totally spoiling, where suddenly she has this beautiful space that is inviting for all these things, all these new friends she's made, all these wonderful experiences she's had. There's room for in this villa.
Mm.
Now, I'm not saying you have to go buy a villa in Tuscany. What I'm saying is, with whatever space you have, are you opening it to what you want in your life?
Right. Do you love the things in it, or are some of them irksome? Do you have too many things? I mean, there's a way to cure too many things. You get rid of things or you move to a bigger space.
Mhm,
Simple. Um, for most of us, it's easier to get rid of things than move to a bigger space.
mhm.
So, and what's her name? That Japanese lady. Do you love it? Right? Do you love it? Does it bring you joy?
Yes.
If
If
not,
you
let it go.
exactly. If you don't love it, it doesn't bring you joy, then let it go.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Christina. It's fun, so fun to talk to you. I was just thinking that when I was a little girl, I used to love to just hang out
Mhm,
in the room where my mom was talking to her friends.
mhm.
And these conversations seems like that to me.
Oh,
Like you just want to
thank
like
you.
hang out and listen to what we're talking about.
Oh, I feel the same way. Thank you so much. I feel the same
Yeah.
way about you and our talks.
Yeah. Thank you. All right.
You're
Until
welcome.
next time.
Until
Bye,
next
everybody.
time. Bye, everybody.